ordering 10,000 or more copies of your game. So I will be upfront through either my university work or through Half Monster, through my private company work. We haven't yet reached this stage. So the information I'm about to provide is theoretical, and there will likely be more experienced sources of information out there for it. But we in Half Monster and through the university, through QT, do have a plan for getting to this stage, and the largest order that we've done thus far is 5,000 copies of a game. So we've got some good theory, and I'm going to share that with you, and you can take it as you will. If you're at this stage, congratulations, because that's where we're trying to get next. So when doing 10,000 copies of a game, the unit price is going to be like extremely good. It might be, I'm not exactly sure, it could be anywhere like $1.50 US per copy, not including shipping. It might end up being $3 per copy including shipping. For a small card game, remember, if you have more components, it's going to be more. But this is the point at which you can look at doing regional distribution centers around the world. So rather than having a centralized point from which you then send individual copies by plane or sea or however around the world, you can actually save significant amount of money on that shipping, both for yourself and for your customers, by sending maybe like 2,000 copies to every major region or something like that. So that would be US, Canada, South America, Europe, Asia, and Africa, and maybe Australasia. Again, it depends on where your market is and where you're getting orders from, but there's likely going to be, by this stage, quite a lot of data that you can look at to see where most of your orders are coming from, and then split up your where you send from your manufacturer, from their factory, like how many copies you send where, and in the end that will be more cost efficient. So Half Monster specifically this year, sort of in the data that we've been getting, so it's 2020, it's almost over now, so last year, probably by the time you're watching this, half of our customers were in the US, 35% were in the EU, 10% were in Australia, and then the rest are sort of all around the world. So when we get to 10,000 copies, that's likely how we'll divide it up. The other really good thing about doing your shipping that way, and I'm sorry this is mostly about shipping, but we have sort of the process of actually ordering the games at this scale is very much the same as ordering 1,000, except you just put an extra zero on the end and pay significantly more money. And it's also going to take more time. You just have to understand that as well. It won't be 10 times the amount of time as doing 1,000 copies. It might be like twice the amount of time, but just factor that in. But anyway, what was I saying? It's probably not good to do a huge tangent right in the middle of a video, but there we go, that's where we are. So regional distribution, so when we do a 10,000 run, we're likely actually going to send 5,000 copies of whatever game that is to the US region, 3,500 to the EU. Oh, and that's good because it can help you get around the issue of tax. So different regions are going to have different tax setups, and if you import in bulk, that tax will generally be lower than individual parcels, like overall, than individual parcels entering those regions. So the EU is particularly notorious for this because they have the VAT, and the VAT tax can be, I've seen a lot of large campaigns actually adding 20%. So with Frosthaven, which is the latest Stonemaier game, yeah, they added, I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but 20% onto the top of the price of the game and the shipping to get it individually shipped into the EU. But yeah, you can, when you grow from 1,000 to like 10,000 copies, you can actually leave the shipping at the same price, like maybe for the customer, but that takes care of the kind of the tax import fees that might otherwise sort of take up the whole shipping price and things like that. So that's my recommendation. So yeah, so that's sort of like a one-piece recommendation for that scale. Again, that's sort of mostly related to manufacturing and like what you do with the games after that. I will go into more detail about distribution and fulfillment in the next in the next core. But yes, and the materials for this node is going to be a map of the world, where you can go, well, how many copies have been bought here, how many bought here, how many bought here, are they growing, like to what degree, and so like how much do we think we need to ship to each region from there, and also some tips for researching individual warehouses in those regions, and some suggestions for who to contact. But again, every solution is individual, and if you're at this stage of doing 10,000 copies of something, then it's likely that you may be able to actually engage third-party services to figure all this out for you, which I would also highly recommend, because it will just make everything a lot easier, so you can focus on, given that this one went so well, on the next game. So yeah, please put feedback, questions, and things in the comments, and yeah, as ever, good luck.